Hi, it's Shane from PlantBasedRunner.com, and today's video is all about dealing with the highs and the lows in this industry. Okay, so you've got the big gig. You're up there, you're listening to all these videos, and you're flying high, and it's a great feeling. Boy, is it easy to get an ego at that point. Trust me, I've seen it happen so much where I know players that are starting out and they're one personality, and then they get that jump in that gig, and you meet them again and you hardly recognize them because their ego is so out of control and they think they're just the next best thing. Don't do that. Be gracious of where you're at. This whole industry is like this. No matter who you are, there's highs and lows, and when you're on the highs, just remember there's a lot of your friends out there that are struggling and maybe they don't have the big gig. And the last thing, of course, you can talk about your gig, but the last thing you want to do is just brag and brag and brag and try to make yourself elevated above them. You may be elevated as far as where you're at gig wise, but there's a lot of great players out there that don't get the chance, don't get the break, aren't as lucky as you. So just try to keep the ego in check, and that'll go a long way. And a lot of times, ego changes people too. Success changes people, sometimes for the worse. And just be humble, because when you're going up that roller coaster, it's a great feeling. And of course, you're getting the attention, you're getting the better gigs, you're getting to hang with maybe some of the people you really respect and admired all your life. And it's easy to let that get carried away, because that roller coaster will eventually do this. Not very many people stay. It doesn't matter what act you're with, nobody stays on top for a long time. And when you start going down, that's when, if you've got a big ego and you start going down, that's when people will sometimes attack, for a lack of a better word. If you're being a jerk and egomaniac, they're going to celebrate your way down instead of support you on the way down. I'd rather have support from my friends than have them have a big party when I hit rock bottom because I've been such a jerk when I was successful or on top or whatever. You know what? Just ride it out. And when you're on top, and you're out there and you're doing really well, you're gonna have the urge to get out there, party, use your fame or whatever, your success, to hang with different people and stuff like that. Just use your head. Enjoy. Listen, you've worked hard. You've worked hard to get there, and there are some great perks from being up here that you don't get any other time. And the crazy thing is, the perks you get when you're on top are the ones you really need when you're at the bottom, like endorsements and things like that, that don't come. So enjoy that. That's just as much a part of working hard and maintaining that gig as anything. Absolutely enjoy your time on top, but don't be an egomaniac. Don't put others down. Don't feel that you're better than other people. Be thankful. Uh, be humble. Uh, um, be gracious. That goes a long way, because you, out of millions of other people, have gotten that chance. And there are a lot of hungry people just waiting for you to screw up or be too much of a pain in the butt to keep on the gig. There's too many people waiting in line for that gig. If it's a good one, trust me, it's harder to keep a gig than to get a gig. So just don't be an egomaniac when you get on top. Just be thankful, be gracious. It goes a long way. Now, the opposite happens, and the opposite happens probably more than the highs, the lows. Um, there are times in my career when you get off a tour that's been so good, and you're used to being out there for a month, just everything, your day is so regimented, and you get home and it stops. Nobody's making you a meal, nobody's doing your hotel room, nobody's driving you around, it's all you. And it can get pretty dismal quickly, because when you're out there and things are happening and they're great, boy, that's a good feeling. And when you're back to just being a nobody at home, it's a little hard. And there's also parts of your career you're going to be in spots where the gigs aren't coming in, and for whatever reason, maybe you are with just one act and they decide they're going to take some time off, or you're a side person, you're hired gun. There are situations out there where you'll get retainer, which means they'll pay you a certain amount of money on the time off just to make sure you or stay in the band or stay available. That doesn't happen a lot. So there are going to be times when the gigs dry up, and right now we're still dealing with COVID. All that dried up, and I know myself and so many of my friends hit the lowest of low parts, because basically our lives were taken away from us. Our working lives were taken away from us. So we've had to deal with all of a sudden no gigs and no prospect of gigs for a while. Like even now, where we're supposed to be on the edge of this all being over, there's still no gigs, because promoters won't book a gig just in case things happen again and they lose their deposit, lose their insurance, all that stuff. So right now, gig wise, I tell you, it is tough. And how do you deal with the lows? Well, this is where your network of friends comes in, where you can talk, because everybody's that I know is dealing with the same thing. And sometimes just talking to someone is a great way to bring you out of those low times. And listen, if the low times are serious, there are medical professionals you can talk to, and there's no shame in that. If I fall and hurt my knee, I'll go to a doctor to get my knee looked after. If I am having some pretty low periods, there's nothing shameful about seeking mental health. It's health. It's health, just like physical health, mental health. We always have a stigma about mental health, and these people are trained to help you deal with the low times and deal with the thoughts that come along with it, and they give you tools to help you get through that. So listen, if things are getting super tough, and things are looking bleak, that's the time to talk to someone. Talk to a friend, talk to family, seek professional help, talk to your doctor. It's all out there to help you get through this, and you're not alone on this. And so many people go through this all the time, and I'm definitely one of them. When the lows get pretty low sometimes, and you need to find a coping mechanism to break out of that. So don't let the stigma hold you back, because that can snowball, and it can lead to way worse things. So dealing with your highs is one thing, but just as important, deal with the lows. You got to find balance somehow, and those highs and lows are always going to be there, no matter who you are and where you're at and who you're playing for or whatever. So just learn how to deal with them, and if you're having trouble, just reach out. And hey, send me a note, DM me, and sometimes it just helps to get it out of you and get it to someone who understands and maybe can add a little advice. Okay, but don't go through the highs or lows together. Celebrate the highs, just don't be a jerk about it. Don't let the ego get out of you. And you know what? Find help for the lows if you need it. There's nothing shameful about that at all. So there you go, dealing with highs and lows, and man, oh man, you're gonna have a lot of them in this musical career that you've got going on. So the sooner you figure out how to deal with either end and in the middle, the better you'll be off. So there you go. Talk to you on the next video. Hey, if you like this video or any of the others I've done, hit that subscribe button. And if you're looking for bass lessons, head on over to my website, plantbassrunner.com. Go to my contact page, send me a note. We'll work something out. Thanks for watching.